Hello and welcome back to the John Moore Museum YouTube channel. In this video we will be taking a look at the beaver. Beavers are large semi-aquatic rodents of the Northern Hemisphere. There are two existing species, the North American beaver and the Eurasian beaver. Beavers are the second largest living rodents after capybaras, weighing up to 110 pounds. The two species differ in skull and tail shape and fur colour. Beavers can be found in a number of freshwater habitats such as rivers, streams, lakes and ponds. They are herbivores, consuming tree bark, aquatic plants, grasses and sedges. The Eurasian beaver is native to Britain and used to be widespread in England, Wales and Scotland, but was never known from Ireland. They became extinct in the 16th century mainly because of hunting for their fur, meat and castoreum, a secretion used in perfumes, food and medicine. Beavers have a positive effect on their environment through their behaviour. By gnawing on stems, they could piece trees like willow, hazel, rowan and aspen. The regrowth provides home for a variety of insects and birds. The wetlands in which beavers live are valuable for many other species too. They provide homes for animals like otters, waterfowl, common frogs and toads, water shrews and birds such as woodcock and teal. Craneflies, water beetles and dragonflies in turn support breeding fish and insect-eating birds like spotted flycatchers and warblers, woodpeckers, bats and a host of beetles using the standing dead wood. Beavers can also offer a nature-based solution to improving the health and function of river catchments. Beaver-created wetlands can act as sponges, resulting in more constant flow and retaining water during drought. A series of leaky beaver dams can reduce the speed of flow and help reduce the chance of flash flooding. Beaver dams can capture organic sediment and reduce the effects of agricultural runoff and harmful chemicals such as pesticides, helping to improve the water quality downstream. In Scotland there are currently two populations of beaver. In Argyll, where the successful Scottish beaver trial ran from 2009 to 2014, a small population continues with help from some further licensed releases. In the east of Scotland, there is an expanding population of beavers from unauthorised escapes or releases from captivity, which currently inhabit the Tay and Forth catchments. In England, the River Otter Beaver Trial, or ROBT, is the only licensed population of free living beavers, although other groups of beavers assist in the wild, as a result of escapes. The ROBT is led by Devon Wildlife Trust working with Exeter University, and the beavers have been studied for 5 years from 2015 to 2020. The trial appears to have been successful with few conflicts reported. In Wales, the Welsh Beaver Project, led by the Welsh Wildlife Trust with support from the Welsh Government, is consulting on plans for a trial of free living beavers in a Dyfi catchment. Beavers have stocky bodies with a yellow-brown to almost black coat and a broad flat scaly tail. Their large orange incisors grow continuously throughout their lifetime. They have webbed rear feet and digitated front paws. The beaver's stocky body enables it to conserve heat. A beaver's long, dark orange visible incisors grow continuously throughout its lifetime and are worn down through daily use. These teeth are self-sharpening and can cleave a willow the size of a person's finger in a single bite. If the incisors become too long, they can prevent the beaver's mouth from closing enough for its grinding molars to meet, which could lead to starvation. Beavers regularly move between aquatic and terrestrial environments. Their small dexterous front feet are well adapted to working on land. They walk on 5 digits, grasping sticks with their front paws and have well-developed digging claws. Their larger hind feet are webbed for swimming and void of fur, except on the dorsal surface. The hind feet also have a preening toe, the second from the inside, with a unique double toenail. Beavers are meticulous groomers. They use the preening toe as a comb to prevent their fine soft fur from matting to maintain its waterproofing and insulating properties. These flexible toes also remove burrs and parasite. On land, a beaver's movements are extremely awkward, making them vulnerable to predators. In water, however, beavers can swim up to 6 miles an hour. Their oversized lungs allow them to stay submerged for up to 15 minutes while travelling over half a mile. Whiskers help detect objects around a beaver's face and head, which is especially helpful in narrow passageways and dark water. The beaver's eyes have a thin transparent membrane called a nictinating membrane, which is poured over the eyeball for underwater work. A beaver's sight is good only for short distances and at close range. Its ears are external, small and rounded, with valves that also close while submerged, and the beaver's auditory sense is well developed. The shape of the tail is an individual and family trait, varying from short and broad to long and narrow. It is practically hairless and covered with black scales. There is a sharp line between the fur and the scales, the fur remaining at full length and density right up to this line. The tail is used as a rudder in swimming, as a balance prop while working on land, and to signal danger when slapped on the water. Beavers will also store fat in their tails, eating more in the fall so they can survive off the fat stored in their tails through winter if food is not available. The beaver's vertebrae continues into and almost to the end of the tail. Beavers are herbivores and only eat plants and vegetation. They mostly eat the inner bark of trees along with the bark and leaves. They can eat shrubs, twigs and apples as well. Because the beavers spend a lot of time in the water, they also enjoy aquatic plants like lilies, pondweed and cattails. Beavers live in freshwater ecosystems such as rivers, streams, lakes and ponds. Water is the most important part of beaver habitat. They swim and dive in it, and it provides them a refuge from land predators, restricts access to their homes and allows them to move building objects more easily. Beavers prefer slower moving streams, typically with a gradient of 1%. Beavers are found in wider streams more often than in narrow ones. They also prefer areas with no regular flooding and may abandon a location for years after a significant flood. Beavers need trees and shrubs to use as building materials for dams, which restrict flowing water to create a pond for them to live in, and for lodges, which act as shelters and refuge from predators and the elements. Without such materials, beavers dig burrows into a bank to live. Dam construction begins in late summer or early fall, and they repair them whenever needed. Beavers can cut down trees up to 15 centimeters wide in less than 50 minutes. Thicker trees at 25 centimeters wide or more may not fall for hours. When chewing down a tree, beavers switch between biting with the left and right side of their mouth. Tree branches are then cut and carried to their destination with the powerful jaw and neck muscles. Other building materials like mud and rocks are held by the forelimbs and tucked between the chin and chest. Beavers start building dams when they hear running water, and the sound of a leak in the dam triggers them to repair it. To build a dam, beavers stack up relatively long and thick logs between banks and in opposite directions. Heavy rocks keep them stable and grass is packed between them. Beavers continue to pile on more material into the dam slopes in a direction facing upstream. Dams can range in height from 20 centimeters to 3 meters and can stretch from 1 foot to several hundred meters long. Beaver dams are more effective in trapping and slowly leaking water than man-made concrete dams. Lake-dwelling beavers do not need to build dams. Beavers in some areas will dig canals connected to their ponds. The canal fills with groundwater and gives beavers access and easier transport of resources, as well as allow them to escape predators. These canals can stretch up to 1 meter wide, 0.5 meters deep, and over 0.31 miles long. It has been hypothesized that beavers' canals are not only transportation routes, but an extension of their central place around the lodge and/or food caches. As they drag wood across the land, beavers leave behind trails or slides, which they reuse when moving more material. Beavers breed mainly from December to April, and litters of usually 2 to 3 kits are born in May or June. The young learn to swim within hours and leave the nest at 1 to 2 months. They are weaned in their first summer, but may not disperse until 2 years old. They are unlikely to successfully breed until their 3rd year. Across Europe, the main predators of the Eurasian beaver are red foxes, lynx and Eurasian wolves. For the beavers that live in Britain, they are largely protected from predation. However, they can be vulnerable to disturbance from humans and dogs in some habitats, especially during the breeding time in spring. Historically, humans were the main threat for Eurasian beavers. Beavers disappeared from Britain largely due to overhunting. Beavers were hunted for their rich, lustrous fur, which was often made into hats. July 2022 saw the good news that beavers in England will be given legal protection. This could also pave the way for the animals to be released in the wild under license. Thank you very much for watching this video from the John Moore Museum YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe as it does help. And we will see you again. Goodbye.